The 6 biggest turnoffs for men. All right, this video is for the ladies. This is a video about things that really turn men off. You know, we generally assume that it is always the man that wants more sex. And generally the man is trying to always somehow convince the woman to have sex with him. But one of the things that I see in the work that I do is the reverse case actually quite often, far more than you would think, where the woman actually wants more sex than the man does. And so she's wondering, I don't get it. I don't understand why he's not in the mood. Now, there can be a lot of reasons for it. There can be issues like, low testosterone levels and stress and other problems in the relationship. So this isn't an exhaustive video on why he's not in the mood. In fact, if you're interested in that, I already did another video on that topic. Check that out. But this one is specifically things that turn men off. And so here we go. But before we do that, please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Liking this video, sharing it with your friends if you found the content valuable. And of course, subscribing to the channel greatly helps the algorithm. It helps my videos be seen by more people, which means I get to help more people. Hey everybody, I am Kevin Anthony, Certified Sexologist, Tantra Counselor, NLP Practitioner, and sex, love, and relationship coach. And for over a decade, I have been helping men, women, and couples have the relationship of their dreams and the best sex of their lives. Okay, so here we go. The 6 biggest turnoffs for men. Number 1, complaining. If you are constantly complaining about this, that, or the other thing, it is a huge turnoff. Now, I do understand, ladies, you're going to say, yeah, but he didn't take the trash out. And yeah, but he didn't, do this, that, or the other thing. Yes, so on the man's side, I work extensively with, teaching them how to step up, how to keep their word, how to actually do the things that they say they're going to do. Okay, great. However, even when they do that, some women still find things to complain about. And even if the complaints are justified, it's really about how you ask for what you want. So rather than complaining like, you didn't take out the trash when I asked you to again. You never take out the trash. This is such a problem. Why can't you just figure out how to take out the trash? That is massive complaining. Rather than doing that, you can say, it would really help me out if you would remember to take the trash out, because when it's not out, then I'm thinking about it and it's just one more thing on my list, or then when I go to, clean up after dinner and the trash is full and I've got no place to put the scraps in the compost or whatever, and it makes me feel overwhelmed, and then I get more stressed, right? So basically, inspiring him by letting him know what it is that you need and why it's important for you that he does it. It's a much better way of doing it. So that way you can still make your voice heard, but you're doing it in a way that doesn't come across as complaining. All right, the second one is criticizing. This is similar to complaining, but complaining is just like, I can't believe you didn't take out the trash again. The criticizing is, I can't believe you didn't take the trash out again, and you're always so forgetful. You never remember anything. How come it is you can remember your poker night, but you can't remember the trash? I wish you could do this better, right? So the really critiquing him and his behavior as opposed to the task itself is where we really get into the criticizing part of it. And, much like complaining, criticizing is like, it's kryptonite to an erection. So if you're in that mode where you are complaining and criticizing, there's going to be a lot of resentment that builds up on his part, and he's really not going to be turned on. He's not going to want to even connect with you, more or less sex, right? He's just going to want to go lock himself in his man cave. Now, of course, he's still going to have, sexual desire. It's just not going to be for you. So it's going to end up being met through porn or potentially even cheating, and you definitely don't want those things to happen. So So really watch out for the complaining and the criticizing. All right, the next one is competing with your man. So always sort of, challenging and competing. If he has an idea, you challenge that idea, right? Or if, he's talking about, I don't know, whatever subject it is, and you're like getting in there, getting in his face and challenging him for who's doing what in the relationship. This is a problem. As men, we are out there in the world competing every day. Now, that doesn't mean that you aren't, right? So I'm not saying that, we have to go out into the world and compete too. Yes, I know, I get it. That's the world we live in now. Both people, you generally have to work, and we're both out there competing. But from the man's point of view is when we come home, the last thing we want to do is have to compete again when we are in our own home, with our significant other and or family. We got enough of that in the outside world. Our home is really our castle, our sanctuary, where we are hoping that we don't have to deal with those things. So that can be a huge turnoff. It also causes us as men to expend a bunch more energy. So, rather than coming home and being able to relax, now we're like back in do mode, we're back in compete warrior mode, right? And it's just expending a lot of extra energy that we don't want to have to expend. And so, that will make us one, more tired, and two, not particularly interested in wanting to connect and or be sexual with a partner where it's just going to be more competing. Like it's just, there might be some penetration, but it'll be like, fighting with the enemy, and then oops, I slipped and there was penetration, right? So definitely not something that we want to do. So definitely be careful with the competing. All right, the next one is controlling, another big turnoff, which is where you try to control everything that's happening in the relationship, or you try to control his behavior and how he does things, and you get into micromanaging things. This really creates a mother-son dynamic in a relationship, and it is toxic, absolutely toxic. It destroys polarity. So if it destroys polarity, it's obviously going to destroy his desire and his libido. And of course, with the exception of people maybe suffering from the Oedipus complex, nobody wants to have sex with their mother. That's just a truth. So when you get into that really controlling mode, a lot of resentment builds up. It creates this sort of mother-son dynamic, and it's an absolute turnoff for men. All right, the next one is being overly masculine. So when you are overly masculine, you can tend to do the complaining, criticizing, competing, and controlling, what Celine termed her 4 C's. C's, 4 C's. That's what I started with in this video. However, it can show up in other ways as well. And when you really show up as a masculine version of yourself, right? So you're in your masculine energy, you do end up competing with him. You do end up controlling, for sure. And it just destroys the polarity in the relationship. So to really have attraction, you need to have the femininity and the masculinity present. And if they're not, that really, really hurts the polarity in the relationship. And so obviously it doesn't do anything to turn a man on. It's like, again, we feel like we're competing and wrestling. It's like we might wrestle our male friends because it's like sort of a dominance thing, or like, we're showing how manly we are, but we don't want to do that necessarily with a woman. We don't want to wrestle with her in that way, right? So we might want to do some light, playful wrestling. But it's a completely different thing. So when you're too much in your masculine, you're really hurting the polarity in the relationship, and that's a big turnoff for men. All right, and the very last one is not taking care of your body. I saved this for last because I didn't really want this to be all about, how you look. Because I know women are going to say, well, he should just love me for who I am. Or they're going to say, well, as I age, things change and there's nothing I can do about that. Yes and yes. Totally agree with both of those things. However, one thing that I do see, and this is true on both ends, by the way, so I'm not giving the men a pass. I see a ton of men who let themselves go. They drink too much beer. They get these big beer bellies. They're not in shape. It affects their testosterone levels. It's a whole issue and problem on their side as well. However, I can't talk about things that are a turnoff to men without also mentioning that this is a problem in the opposite direction, which is women who really let themselves go, who don't take care of themselves. I love to use the example, Celine used to have this little cartoon, and in the first pane it said, "This is how I show up for complete strangers," and it's a woman in a nice dress, and she's got heels on, and her hair is done, and her makeup is done, right? Because she's going out somewhere to meet complete strangers. And then in the next frame, it shows, "And this is how I show up for the person that I love." And her hair's a mess, no makeup. She's wearing like ripped sweats and, whatever. I'm not saying you have to always walk around with makeup on or your hair done or anything like that. I'm just saying that if you take care of yourself and you make it a point to at least occasionally look good for your partner, this will go a long way towards turning him on. If you are always, with the crazy unkept hair and, haven't shaven your legs in a month and, wearing crappy clothes and all that, it's just not a turn on, especially when he's exposed to so many other beautiful women through social media, through, TV shows, movies, whatever, porn. He's going to start fixating on that. And then he's going to look over and go, why doesn't my woman look anything like that? Right? And so he's going to be less attracted. So, yes, do it for your man, but also do it for yourself. I spend a lot of time taking care of myself, working out hard in the gym and, grooming, taking care of the beard, making sure it looks good. And I do that primarily for myself, but it also has the benefit of showing up like that for my partner. So I suggest, ladies, that you do the same thing. Primarily do it for yourself. Take care of yourself. Eat well, exercise, take care of your body, dress nice, right? That will make you feel better, and you'll have the added benefit that it also will be very attractive to your man. All right, there you go. So there are the 6 biggest turnoffs for men. There, of course, are some others here and there, but those are kind of big ones and patterns that I see repeated all the time. So now that you know what they are, you can avoid them, and you also know what the better behavior or pattern is to establish. And as always, if you want to know more about my work, please go to kevinandceline.com/link in bio. That has links to all of my stuff in one place. My online courses at powermastery.com, the Love Lab podcast, this YouTube channel for more information, the products I sell, my coaching programs for men, women, and couples, and so much more. It is all right there. Go check it out. kevinandceline.com/link in bio.